Most people have heard of the legendary Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow, but Texas has a headless rider of its own terrorizing the backcountry. Welcome to the Unexplained and Paranormal Report, where we investigate mysterious events, hauntings, strange encounters, and everything unexplained. For more than 150 years, people across South Texas have reported a mysterious headless horseman known as El Muerto, a phantom rider doomed to roam the brush, angry over his fate and hunting anyone who crosses his path. On the Texas frontier, stealing a horse wasn't just a petty crime. A good horse could mean the difference between life and death in a land of deserts, outlaws, and long empty trails. If you stole a man's horse, you weren't just taking property, you were taking his ability to survive. So frontier justice treated horse theft almost like murder. According to the legend, a Mexican bandit named Vidal learned the hard way. He picked the wrong herd, belonging to a Texas ranger. Rangers at the time had a reputation for hunting down bandits across vast stretches of wild country. The story goes that they tracked Vidal, captured him, and decided a simple hanging wasn't enough of a warning. They allegedly beheaded Vidal while he was still on his horse. His severed head was tied to the saddle along with his sombrero, so there was no mistaking who it was. And then the headless horseman was turned loose into the backcountry as a living message to anyone thinking about stealing horses. That should have been the end of the story. Instead, for weeks, some say months, cowboys and settlers claimed they saw the same horse wandering the wilds, with the headless corpse still rotting in the saddle. Imagine riding alone through the South Texas brush at dark, no town lights, just cactus and miles of empty land. As you ride along, you come up on a horse ahead of you, and it turns out you realize the rider's shoulders are slumped, the clothes are filthy and stiff, and there's no head above the collar. Some witnesses said the smell hit them before the sight did. Others claimed the horse moved with an unnatural, steady trot as if it hadn't tired in days. Eventually, someone took the body down and buried it in an unmarked grave. Over the years, ranchers, travelers, and even motorists have all reported seeing a headless horseman in the South Texas brush. Before Fort Inge was shut down in 1869, soldiers stationed there said a headless rider moved through the countryside at night, just outside the post's lights. They described a dark horse and a figure in old, tattered clothes that seemed to appear and vanish without a sound. In 1899, near San Patricio, a wagon train reported a headless rider racing past them, shouting, "It's mine, it's mine." The voice, they said, sounded close, but when they looked, there was no mouth, no face, just a body clinging to the saddle as the horse thundered by and vanished into the brush. In 1917, a couple camping near San Diego, Texas, claimed a headless horseman rode straight into their camp. They heard the hoofbeats first, slow and deliberate. The campfire was burning low when a horse stepped into the ring of light, the rider's clothes hanging in tatters, no head visible above the shoulders. For a moment, the horse stood still as if staring at them, and then turned and walked back into the darkness until the sound of hooves faded away. And as late as 1969 near Freer, Texas, witnesses insisted they saw the same terrifying rider again, and this time closer to a modern highway. Headlights caught the outline of a horse and rider crossing the road. But when the car drew near, the driver realized the rider's neck ended in torn cloth where a head should have been. So what could people be seeing? Some people believe El Muerto is a restless spirit of Vidal, still furious over his brutal death and drawn to the places where riders travel alone. Others say the story became so well known that any strange shape in the brush or any lone rider on a dark night was quickly turned into the legend. There's also the possibility over the years that pranksters or local cowboys might have dressed up to play the part and keep the story alive. A cloak pulled over the head, a bundle tied to the saddle, seen at a distance, could be enough to fool a frightened traveler. But then there are witnesses who insist what they saw didn't move like a normal man, and it didn't feel like a joke. From frontier forts to lonely highways, the same figure keeps showing up, a rider with no head and no clear explanation. So what do you think people are really seeing? A legend passed down until it feels real? A hoax that refuses to die? Or have some witnesses truly watched El Muerto ride past them, long after his body was supposed to be in the ground?